Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you've never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, February the 28th, 2021. I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search Catch, Hook, and Shoot, and you'll be able to find the show. Make sure you head over to catchhookshoot.com to find everything you could possibly want about the show, all the podcasts, all the YouTube videos, every interview that I've ever done, photo gallery, the brand new CHS store with all kinds of new merchandise, t-shirts, hats. Head over there and check it out. We got a ton of new stuff over there you should take a look at. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch Hook Shoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for brand new bonus content coming out tomorrow, March the 1st on the $1 tier. It's called Work the Territory. The watch along for this month is going to be World Class Championship Wrestling from December 28th, 1982. And that is Kerry Von Erich versus Ric Flair in a steel cage for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On the $5 tier, the gimmick match watch along this week is Roddy Piper versus Greg the Hammer Valentine in a dog collar match from 1983 Starrcade. And at the $10 tier, the main event, probably the ultimate main event, is Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3. So we're coming hot right out of the gate with brand new content starting March 1st on Patreon. So head over there, check those out, check out the watch-alongs, check out all the other cool stuff that you get on each tier, and, subscribe. Hey, what else can I say? And make sure you check out the Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot, and you can find all that and more on our Linktree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot. You'll find links to the website, YouTube, all the podcasting platforms, Pro Wrestling Tees, Patreon, literally everything and everywhere that the show is, you can find it on our Linktree. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So, once again, starting off the show on a little bit of a a big sad note. Unfortunately, this past week, Josephus, also known as Question Mark, unexpectedly passed away. Just hugely popular in the NWA, especially under his Question Mark gimmick. And his real name was Joseph Hudson, and just a big part of the indie scene for a long time, and really had come into his own when the NWA started back up under Billy Corrigan. Like I said, played a huge part in NWA Powerrr, especially under the Question Mark gimmick. And he also played Bruiser Brody in the Dark Side of the Ring episode about Bruiser Brody. So like I said, unexpectedly this past week, Josephus did pass away. Didn't see an official cause of death, but the speculation or rumor, whatever it was, take it for what it's worth, said either a stroke or a brain aneurysm. But that's, like I said, that's speculation. I haven't seen anything as far as an official cause of death. But Joseph Hudson, unfortunately did pass away this past week, so rest in peace to him. So let's get into everything going on in the wonderful world of pro wrestling this week, starting it all off like we always do with the match of the week. All right, so the match of the week this week comes from AEW Dynamite, and it was Lance Archer versus Rey Fenix. And this was a match to determine who gets a spot in the Face of the Revolution ladder match coming up at the AEW pay-per-view next weekend. And this match was just freaking amazing. These are honestly two of my favorite guys. Lance Archer, I've seen him wrestle on the indies. I've seen his work with New Japan, and obviously I've seen him in AEW. He is exactly what his name says he is, the Murder Hawk Monster. He is a monster. And to see him going in there with Rey Fenix, somebody who's more of a finesse, high-fly type wrestler, is just an amazing clash of styles, and these two guys put on a fantastic match. In the end, Archer was the winner, so he is in the ladder match at Revolution coming up next week. But yeah, if you are only going to watch one wrestling match this week, check out Lance Archer versus Ray Phoenix from AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. So let's keep going right into the next segment of the show, which is my top 3 highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 count. Number 1 on the 3 count this week is The Miz cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he is your new WWE champion. Cashed in on Drew McIntyre after the Raw Elimination Chamber match. We saw a segment earlier in the show with Miz and Lashley talking backstage. Lashley attacked McIntyre after the match, and Miz came out, cashed in, and he is your new WWE champion. Number 2 on the 3 count, Randy Orton's promo from Monday Night Raw, basically talking about why he's been on such a losing streak the last several weeks and months, whatever it might be, and saying pretty much it's Alexa Bliss's fault. Like, she is the distraction that's causing all of his issues and everything. And we saw a cut to the scene from last week with Alexa more or less summoning the Fiend back to life while sitting in the middle of a pentagram drawn on the floor. And when it cut back to Orton, he started coughing and basically spewed up the same black liquid that we saw oozing out of Alexa Bliss's mouth the prior week while she was sitting up in the corner distracting Orton. I keep saying over and over again, I'm loving this whole Alexa Fiend Randy Orton storyline. You know it's leading to a match at WrestleMania. We're just waiting on the announcement, but I love everything about this, so I can't wait to see how it plays out. And number 3 on the 3 count, Paul White is All Elite. Paul White, a.k.a. The Big Show, no longer with WWE. He has signed a long-term contract with AEW, as was announced this past Wednesday. It was also announced that AEW's got a new show coming to YouTube called AEW Dark Elevation, and Paul White is going to be the host of that show along with Tony Schiavone, so should be interesting. Apparently he's also going to be wrestling for them as well, so and he'll be making an appearance on AEW Dynamite this week, so I'm sure we'll find out more about what's going on with Paul White in AEW. Yeah, he apparently just was not happy in WWE, not happy with how he was used at the Raw Legends Night back in January. So, he made the decision to move to AEW. So hopefully, we'll see some new things from Paul White coming up in the very near future. So moving on to results and news and rumors for the week, starting off with the results of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Right at the top, actually before the show even went on, it was announced that Keith Lee was out of the Triple Threat U.S. title match. And the reason that was given was injury sustained in the attack from Bobby Lashley, I believe it was the week prior. So that's obviously the storyline reason. Not sure. I didn't even see any rumors as to what the actual reason was. Is he injured? Is he ill? Is something else going on? Who knows? But so Keith Lee was out, and there was a fatal 4-way to decide his replacement between Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Elias, and John Morrison. That match was won by John Morrison, so he took Lee's place in the U.S. title match. The Raw Women's title match was basically just scrapped. I mean, Lacey Evans out of the match, obviously, because it was announced that she's pregnant, and there was no replacement. So Asuka's title defense was just scrapped from the show. Daniel Bryan won the Smackdown Elimination Chamber, and immediately after the match, Roman Reigns came out and to give Bryan his Universal Championship match. And I liked the way it started out because they made you think Bryan could possibly get the quick win over Roman Reigns because he got him in the LeBell Lock right off the bat. But of course Roman, was able to get out of it and did eventually pick up the victory, so he is still the Universal Champion. But we did see an appearance from Edge, who speared Roman Reigns out of his boots and then made the iconic point to the WrestleMania sign, basically making it known that he will be challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Matt Riddle got the win in that triple threat match, so he is your new United States champion. Yeah, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retained the women's tag team titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, and I already talked about all of the craziness with Miz and MVP and Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, the Miz. That's how the show ended. The Miz as your new WWE champion. So let's move on to Monday Night Raw. Right at the top of the show, we saw Miz TV with Bobby Lashley coming out basically saying he did the favor for the Miz, so now he wants his payment, which is a World Championship match. And he gave Miz an hour to make the right decision, as he put it. Matt Riddle retained in his first U.S. Championship defense against John Morrison. We saw a video package that Rhea Ripley is going to be coming to Monday Night Raw soon, which is awesome. I think Monday Night Raw definitely the right place for her, and she's one I don't think is going to suffer the same fate as a lot of NXT call-ups, and as far as getting lost in the shuffle. I think I'm hoping anyway, she's going to be a big part of the Raw Women's division, and I would not be surprised to see her as a Raw Women's Champion, soon after her debut. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping that that's what's basically going to be going on. The New Day got yet another victory over Retribution, and we saw Mustafa Ali just kind of lose it and snap on the other members of Retribution, which they didn't look too enthused about. He was getting some really bad looks from T-Bar and from Mace and Slapjack and Reckoning, and so I'm thinking we're going to see a split in Retribution sooner rather than later. So keep an eye on that one. I think we're going to see the members of Retribution kind of break away and hopefully lose the masks and the names and go back to being, Dijakovic and Shane Thorne and Mia Yim and just go back to using their real names. Or not their real names, but their previous names. So, one can hope. But anyway, moving on. We found out that Lashley and The Miz are going to have that championship match next week. And Braun Strowman, of all people, was not happy about that. He was upset that he was left out of the Elimination Chamber. He thinks he's being overlooked. So basically, Adam Pearce and Shane McMahon said, you know what, if you can defeat Bobby Lashley tonight, then you can be added to the title match and it'll be a triple threat. But that didn't happen. Lashley was victorious, so Strowman will not be added to that match. But I have a feeling he's going to stick his nose in it anyway, and it'll end up being... Miz will end up retaining, or possibly Drew McIntyre getting involved in some way or another, because McIntyre did not appear on Raw this week. Obviously, I think to probably sell the injuries or whatever it might be from the Elimination Chamber and from the Miz. So, so next week it's going to be the Miz defending against Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler got a win over Charlotte and Asuka. Kind of I wouldn't say a controversial finish, but basically Charlotte ended up kicking Asuka by mistake, and that's kind of what cost them the match. And then Charlotte just kind of walked out in I wouldn't say disgust, but just didn't look right. She just didn't seem like she cared a whole lot to be there. Kind of a scary spot during this match, though. Asuka caught a stiff kick to the face from Shayna Baszler, actually knocked out some of her teeth, or one of her teeth at least. And obviously it was an accident. If you watch the slow-mo playback, you see Shayna Baszler immediately dropped to the mat to check on Asuka to make sure she was okay. And it's something, it was very subtle. You wouldn't have noticed if you weren't looking for it, but it's an accident. Accidents happen. Like JR loves to say, it's not ballet, folks. And it is what it is. It was an errant kick. It was an accident. And as far as anything I've seen, Asuka's fine. So stuff happens. Then we saw a segment backstage with Charlotte and Ric Flair. Basically, Charlotte just telling Ric to go home. He's too much of a distraction and that kind of stuff. So, and with Lacey Evans being out for, I would say at least a year now, I'm not sure what Ric Flair what would be next for Ric Flair, since, obviously he's not going to be managing Lacey Evans for a while. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Moving on to AEW Dark. Lee Johnson of the Nightmare family picked up his first singles win against Serpentico. Layla Hirsch got a win over Brooke Havoc in a pretty good match. Brooke Havoc, another member of the Nightmare family, or product of the Nightmare Factory, I should say. I believe this was her debut match. And unfortunately, she was injured, and it was a very good match between these two. I've become a big fan of Layla Hirsch. If you haven't followed her stuff, definitely check her out. She's had a couple appearances on Dynamite and had quite a few matches on Dark. And she's one to watch. The Dark Order continues to win on AEW Dark. And Ryan Nemeth got a win over Aaron Solo. And then it looks like Nemeth is going to be part of this group with Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi, because they went on the attack on Aaron Solo after the match. Just kind of an odd grouping there. Peter Avalon, Cesar Bononi, and Ryan Nemeth. But, we'll see where it goes. AEW is big on the factions. That's something that they took from New Japan. So, we'll have to see where this one goes. Are they going to stay on Dark? Are they going to move to Dynamite at some point? I'm interested. So let's see. And SCU continues their winning streak, so they get to continue being a tag team. They got a win in a triple threat match over the Seidel brothers and TH2 in the main event of Dark this week. Moving on to Impact Wrestling, Jake Something got a win over Cody Deaner in a tables match, but then was immediately attacked by Moose, who just kind of took over the show. And Scott D'Amore came out trying to get Moose out of the ring. Jake Something came back out trying to go after Moose, so it was announced, number one, that Impact is officially recognizing the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, so that is now an official Impact title. And D'Amore also announced that Moose would have to defend that title against Jake Something in the main event. Then we had a 6-man X Division tag team match. Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Black Taurus taking on Trey Miguel, Willie Mack, and Josh Alexander. These 6 guys in the ring, you can't go wrong. Damn good match with these guys. And Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Black Taurus were victorious in that one, so they will move on next week to have a triple threat match, and the winner of that will be the number 1 contender for the X Division Championship. After the 6-man match, Sami Callihan again antagonizing Trey Miguel, saying that, talking about he chokes all the time, and more or less just saying he's got no heart, stuff along those lines. So, and Trey finally had enough of it, went after Sami. So this is definitely leading to a match at some point. Good Brothers got a win over Triple XL. Brian Myers was supposed to have a match against Eddie Edwards, but claiming he was injured, had Hernandez take his place. Hernandez did get the win. And again, Scott D'Amore, talking to Brian Myers afterwards, said, well, the Impact doctors have cleared you, so next week you're going to take on Eddie Edwards, and the referee of that match is going to be Matt Cardona. And kind of a funny spot, D'Amore originally said it's going to be an eye for an eye match. And, of course, kind of ripping on the WWE eye for an eye match between Rollins and Rey Mysterio. And, Myers asked him, was he serious? And D'Amore's basically like, no, I'm not serious. What kind of idiot would book an eye for an eye match? And I found it hilarious. So, whatever. But, so next week, Brian Myers versus Eddie Edwards with Matt Cardona as your special referee. That should be interesting to watch. Jordan Grace and Jazz got a win over Susan and Kimber Lee, so they are the number 1 contenders for the Knockouts tag team titles now. And after the match, we saw ODB laid out backstage, and Jordan Grace basically saying that it was Deonna Purrazzo that took out ODB, so that storyline is definitely not over with. And Moose did retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Jake Something, and it was also announced that he will be getting a shot at the Impact World title against Rich Swann at the next Impact Plus event coming up. So that I have a feeling Moose is going to be the one to unify the Impact and TNA World titles. I don't know why. That's what I think is going to happen. So let's move on to NXT. AEW Dynamite. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Jon Moxley got a win over Ryan Nemeth and then cut a scathing promo on Kenny Omega, leading up to their exploding barbed wire death match at the pay-per-view coming up next week. And I love Jon Moxley on the microphone. He's one of the best promos in wrestling right now, not just in AEW, but in wrestling. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks got a win over the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., After the match, we saw an appearance from Sting, who came out of the tunnel pulling a body bag behind him, kind of reminiscent of what was done to Darby Allin a couple of weeks ago. But wasn't Darby Allin in the body bag? It was Hook, Taz's son. And, of course, Taz had to go running over to save his kid. He was on commentary for Cage and Starks' match. And, while this was going on, Darby Allin comes in on a zip line. And, saw Sting hit the Stinger Splash and the Scorpion Death Drop on Brian Cage. Basically playing the hits. And it was a cool spot. So it was, this all leading up to the street fight coming up at Revolution next week. Jake Hager got a win over Brandon Cutler, and then we saw the Inner Circle go on the attack. Of course, Brandon Cutler, best friend of the Young Bucks. Young Bucks came out to make the save and challenged Chris Jericho and MJF to a match right then and there. They said, we don't have to wait till Revolution for the title match. We can do it right now. And we cut to a scene in the back with Jericho and MJF, and they've got Papa Buck, and he is all bloodied up, and they're slamming him into the semi that's parked in the the loading dock there at Daly's place, and it's the semi with the pictures of Matt and Nick on the back of it, and slamming him into it and getting his blood all over their pictures. And of course, by the time the Bucks got back there, Jericho and MJF were long gone, taking off in their SUV. Just classic wrestling stuff here, guys. I mean, if you ever were a fan of wrestling during the territory days, you've seen spots like this a lot, and it still works. I loved it. I thought it was great. Hangman Page got a win over Isaiah Cassidy, and in the course of this match, Matt Hardy attacked 5 of the Dark Order, and basically said he's going to continue doing this to every member of the Dark Order just to get Hangman Page, because Dark Order's kind of been his backup since all this stuff with Matt Hardy and Private Party started. Nyla Rose defeated Britt Baker to advance to the finals of the women's Eliminator tournament, and we're going to find out who Nyla's opponent's going to be coming up. Coming up later today, actually, on BR Live. It's going to be a free show on BR Live with the Japan finals, as well as the other. Basically, we're going to find out how this tournament's going to play out later today on BR Live, okay? And the overall final is going to be next week on Dynamite, and then the winner of the tournament will go on to get an AEW Women's World Championship match at Revolution. And then the main event was Lance Archer versus Phoenix that we talked about earlier. Archer was victorious, so he qualifies for that Face of the Revolution ladder match coming up at Revolution. Moving on to NXT news, Dexter Lumis got a win over Johnny Gargano, and it looks like Austin Theory and Indy Hartwell are kind of enamored with Dexter Lumis. Like, Austin Theory very hesitant to get involved in the match. Candice LeRae trying to tell Theory to hit Lumis with a chair at one point in the match, and Theory just couldn't do it. And Indy Hartwell was just staring at Lumis throughout the whole match like she's just infatuated with him or something along those lines. And then later on in the show, we saw Gargano talking to Austin Theory and Indy Hartwell in the back, saying that he's basically sending them to therapy to get them deprogrammed from whatever's going on with Dexter Lumis. So interesting storyline going on with Dexter Lumis and The Way. We saw a video package on MSK, and it seems like they are getting ready to be pushed to the moon. They've won the Dusty Cup. They're getting all this attention, this video package talking about their journey through wrestling and how they made it to NXT. And then afterwards, they were about to be interviewed backstage, and they were attacked by the Grizzled Young Veterans, and it would appear that Wes Lee's hand was broken in the course of this. Now, I'm talking storyline broken. I don't think, for real broken, but they, put his hand in a chair and stomped on it, stood on it. So, this Grizzled Young Veterans MSK storyline, I'm really, really enjoying. Now, how this is going to affect the championship match that MSK is supposed to get this coming week, I don't know, because they're supposed to get their shot at the NXT Tag Team titles this week on Wednesday. So we'll have to see how that's going to play out. We were supposed to have a match between Tyler Rust and Leon Ruff, but that was kind of nixed by Isaiah Swerve Scott, who attacked Leon Ruff before the match. And I'm liking heel Swerve. I really am, especially the stuff with Leon Ruff. Basically Swerve saying that Ruff doesn't deserve all these opportunities he's getting, and Swerve should be the one getting them. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with Isaiah Swerve Scott. I've been a fan of his since the first time I saw Swerve was in Lucha Underground years ago when he was wrestling as Killshot under a mask. So I'm really liking the heel Swerve that we're seeing lately. Zoe Stark, in only her second NXT singles match, had a match with Io Shirai. Now, Io Shirai did get the win in this one, but Zoe Stark is impressing the hell out of me. I really was not familiar with her before her being signed to NXT. But yeah, second singles match out, she goes in there and has a damn good match with the women's champion. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention to where Zoe Stark is going. And of course, after the match, we saw an appearance from Toni Storm, who challenged Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title, and Io accepted. So I'm sure we're going to see that match very soon. And then we saw a few different segments with Cameron Grimes. He's basically now trying to be like Ted DiBiase, except he's failing miserably at it. It is what it is. I'm not one to sit here and say something's bad or stupid or anything like that. I'm just gonna. It's not my thing. It's not my favorite part of NXT. I mean, Cameron Grimes I think is a damn good wrestler, but I said it last week. I've just never been a fan of any of his gimmicks, any of his characters. So it is what it is. It's an entertaining spot. They're doing kind of like a parody of some of the old Ted DiBiase stuff where he would try to give money away and have people doing goofy things and then purposely mess them up. And we're seeing Grimes just screw up horribly trying to mess them up and end up having to give the money away. So it is what it is. Xia Li got a win over Casey Catanzaro in just a brutal match. Went after Catanzaro's knee outside the ring. Kind of did the same thing to Casey's knee that Shayna Baszler used to do to people's arms, setting it up and then stomping on it. And Xia Li won the match by referee stoppage. Then after the match, just kicked the crap out of Casey Catanzaro, knocked her out in the ring. So I don't know if Casey's actually injured and this was a way to write her off TV for a couple of weeks or what. But yeah, I mean, damn good match, But yeah, it was Casey Catanzaro just kind of got decimated in this one. And then the Grizzled Young Veterans got a victory over Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, but the real story in this one was after the match. Killian Dane carrying Drake Maverick back to the trainer's room, confronted by Alexander Wolf from Imperium. Wolf basically telling Dane, what the hell's going on with you? You used to be a monster and now this? So could we be seeing Killian Dane joining Imperium in the near future? I would have no problem with that whatsoever. And then the main event of the night, Karrion Kross got the win over Santos Escobar in a damn good street fight. Actually started out in the parking lot, worked its way into the building. Kross was fighting all three members of Legado del Fantasma throughout the course of the match. Did end up getting the win. This, like I said, damn good match. Definitely go back and check that one out too. And then the last segment of the show, we saw Adam Cole come out and basically, explaining himself and his attacks on Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor the last couple of weeks, saying that he was, he was jealous that O'Reilly was getting the opportunities that he thought he should have got and things like that. And we saw Roderick Strong come out. Start talking to Cole. Finn Balor came out, attacked Cole, attacked Roderick Strong, but ended up getting, basically double teamed. And then we saw Strong and Cole in the ring to close out the show. Strong more or less telling Adam Cole, it's okay, we can fix it. And then Adam Cole just hitting Strong with a low blow and a super kick. Ripped off the Undisputed Era dog tags from Roderick Strong, telling him how stupid he is. So Undisputed Era is done, folks. There is no more Undisputed Era. Which is kind of sad, Undisputed Era lasted a long time, longer than most wrestling factions last. So, I guess better to end it now before it starts getting stale. But yeah, Undisputed Era is done. So MLW, there was no MLW Fusion this week, but this coming week, this next Wednesday, it's going to be a World Heavyweight Championship match. Jacob Fatu defending against Jordan Oliver. I cannot wait to see that one. If you haven't checked out MLW yet, what the hell are you waiting for? It's on YouTube. And literally anybody in the world can see it. I don't want to hear this. Oh, I don't get the channel. They're on freaking YouTube. So yeah, watch it. And I'm really curious to see what's going on with this Azteca Underground thing, who bought out Selena De La Renta's Promociones Dorado. I'm hoping beyond hope that we're going to see Dario Cueto and some of the Lucha Underground type stuff going on MLW, because I miss Lucha Underground. I loved Lucha Underground when it was on. So yeah. And we're also going to get the whatever fallout from the dumpster fire that was Filthy Island last week. Moving on to some Ring of Honor news. Had a number one contenders tag team match. Dragon Lee and Kenny King defeated the Briscoe brothers with a little help from Flip Gordon. And then after the match, we saw EC3 make an appearance. Now, he has been gone for quite a while. But basically, cutting a promo on Jay Briscoe, kind of implying that he's the one that paid off Flip Gordon to cost them the match. So, yeah, and this was a feud that was started before EC3. I believe he actually was sick with COVID, if I'm not mistaken. So before he had to take time away, so they're obviously going to be continuing with this. And we did learn this week that EC3 has officially signed with Ring of Honor. Little bit of a surprise. I actually expected him to go back to Impact full time, but yeah, he is officially with Ring of Honor. Mike Bennett got a win over Bateman, and at the end of the match, we saw Matt Taven jump in and attack Bateman, and basically saying, all this in an effort to get a match with Vincent. And we saw Vincent appear on the big screen, and in no uncertain terms, just basically said, no, I'm not going to give you a match. So then Taven, with the help of Mike Bennett, basically hobbled Bateman. By that, I mean had him laid out in the middle of the ring, put a wooden block between his ankles, and smashed a chair over his leg. It was an interesting, violent visual, and Bateman sold the hell out of it. The way that he was writhing and screaming, you would think his leg was shattered. So pretty cool segment there on Ring of Honor. And we've also got new Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions. Shane Taylor and SOS defeated Bandito, Ray Horace, and Flamita for the six-man titles. Coming up next week, we've got two championship matches. Shane Taylor getting his world title match finally against Roosh, and a tag team title match. Kenny King and Dragon Lee, as a result of their victory over the Briscoes, get a title match against Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. So that should be a damn good show coming up next week for ROH. Moving on to NXT UK, Xia Brookside got a win over Nina Samuels, so Nina now has to be Xia's personal assistant for 30 days. I always like those stipulations because they usually make for some pretty funny segments in the following weeks. And we've got new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Pretty Deadly got the win over Gallus, which a little bit of a surprise to me. Gallus has been Tag Team Champions in NXT UK forever. So, yeah, I didn't expect it, but, I got no problem with it. Pretty Deadly, a damn good tag team. So let's move on to Friday Night Smackdown. Starting off the show, Roman Reigns cutting a promo on Edge, telling him to back out of the championship match at WrestleMania. See, this didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because the last several weeks, since Edge won the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns has been saying, you have to pick me, I'm the main event, this and that, basically saying Edge has no other choice. He has to pick Roman Reigns. And then Edge picks Roman Reigns, and Roman's telling him to back out. There's a disconnect there somewhere. Maybe it's just me, but that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, Daniel Bryan came out, interrupted, said he's challenging Roman again. He wants a title match at Fastlane. Didn't really get an answer. Jey Uso just kind of jumped him and beat him down, but we did find out that later on in the night, Bryan would be facing Jey Uso one-on-one, and if Bryan got the victory, he would get that title match at Fastlane, which neither Edge nor Roman Reigns was very happy about, because apparently, and it was never really officially announced, I didn't see it on any social media channels or anything, it was just kind of alluded to during SmackDown. I guess it was originally supposed to be a tag team match with Edge and Daniel Bryan taking on Roman and Jey Uso. So that apparently that's going to be scrapped if Bryan can defeat Jey Uso, which he didn't. That was the main event of the show. It ended in a double countout. But then on Talking Smack, after the show, Paul Heyman basically told Bryan, well, we'll give you another chance. If you can beat Jey Uso next week, you can have that title match at Fastlane. And Bryan, said, well, let's up the stakes a little bit. Let's make it a cage match. And so after a lot of back and forth with Paul Heyman, it's going to be a cage match next week between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso, and if Bryan wins, he gets a title match against Roman at Fastlane. I'm not sure where they're going with this, but the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Roman Reigns and Edge. Let's be very clear about that. Talking about WrestleMania main events, Bianca Belair made her decision known this week on SmackDown. She will be challenging Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania, and that needs to be the main event of one night of WrestleMania. I don't care which one, it needs to be the main event. This is a match that people wanted. This is one that everybody was talking about after Bianca won. They want to see Bianca and Sasha. It's a match that I want to see. So this needs to be the main event of one night of WrestleMania. You have Bianca and Sasha one night and Roman and Edge the other night. And, I know they're both SmackDown matches. I don't care. Who says one show can't have both main events? So, yeah, that's what I want to see as far as WrestleMania goes with the main events. We saw an interesting heel promo from Apollo Crews. I would say his heel turn is complete at this point. Came out talking about his Nigerian heritage and how his great-grandfather was Nigerian royalty and things like that. So apparently that is going to be his new gimmick going forward, which I like it. He seemed to, it was believable. I liked it. And then he picked up a win over Shinsuke Nakamura, which was pretty cool. Honestly pretty impressive considering. Think about where Apollo Crews was 6 months ago. Yeah, I can't remember either. So, I'm liking the different direction that they're taking with them. So hopefully it doesn't turn into something goofy. Hopefully it stays something kind of serious, because I like the more serious, more aggressive side we've been seeing from him the last couple of weeks. Tamina defeated Liv Morgan in just a brutal match. I really like Tamina, and I'm glad we're seeing more of her now, because her WWE career has been really sporadic. She's been with WWE for years, but it's like she's started and stopped so many times, either whether it was for injuries or whatever it might be. So she's never had a long-term run in WWE, even though she's been under contract for I don't know how many years. So hopefully this is something that's going to be sustained for, going forward for the foreseeable future, because I'm a big fan of Tamina, especially, watch this match with Liv Morgan. And it was a damn good match, even though it was, Tamina dominated the entire match. So, yeah, hopefully, like I said, this is something that is sustained for the foreseeable future. We saw Seth Rollins trying to recruit Cesaro yet again, which didn't end well for Seth. He ended up getting swung all over the ring. So, that pretty much sums up Friday Night SmackDown. So let's move on to some New Japan news. We've got new junior heavyweight tag team champions El Desperado and Kanemaru defeated ELP and Ishimori to win those championships. And rumor floating around about New Japan is that Marty Scurll has been backstage at some TV tapings lately. Marty Scurll, of course, been kind of MIA since the whole speaking out movement that happened last summer and the controversy surrounding him. He basically lost his Ring of Honor contract because of it, and now apparently New Japan's going to give him a chance. I'm not sure how good of an idea that is on their part, but we'll have to see how that's going to play out. Like I said, it's a rumor, so who knows if it's even true, but I'm sure we'll find out in the coming weeks if it is. Some NWA news. If you go to NWA's YouTube channel, all of the content has been removed. There are no videos, no NWA Power, no 10 pounds of gold, nothing. It's all gone. So I don't know what this means. I haven't seen any kind of announcements from the NWA. There's been speculation that they could just be going under. I hope not. I was enjoying what the NWA was doing. I loved seeing studio wrestling again. Obviously, they can't go back to that with the current state of things, because with having to do social distancing and all that, you'd have maybe a dozen people in the studio. I don't think that would quite work. But hopefully this isn't an indication of an end for the NWA, or if it is, I really would like to see Tony Khan kind of step in, since he's been working with the NWA and Impact and now New Japan and AAA, give me NWA champions on Dynamite and on Dark is what I'm trying to say, and on the new Dark Elevation show. Maybe this has something to do with that. That's starting up in like 2 weeks. So I'm trying to be optimistic and think that this is not the end for the NWA, because I want to see Nick Aldis again wrestling. I want to see that NWA TV championship on TV. So hopefully we'll get some good news from the NWA in the coming weeks. And so moving into some just some miscellaneous stuff going on, there's been another rumor floating around that we could potentially see Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. Now, if Bobby Lashley wins the WWE Championship on Monday, I would say this is a distinct possibility. And then, you could potentially be looking at Paul Heyman managing both of the top champions in WWE, and that in and of itself is a story. But like I said, it's a rumor. Supposedly it's something that's been talked about in WWE creative meetings. Honestly, I don't know, what the sources are on this, but I just thought it was an interesting... I mean, it's a match I'd like to see, not necessarily for a championship, but I would like to see Lesnar versus Lashley. So we'll, obviously we'll find out about that sometime in the next few weeks. Some sad news from AEW. Anna Jay is out 6 to 12 months with a shoulder injury. I hate this. Anna Jay probably in the top 2 or 3 women in AEW right now, and to have this happen is just, it's horrible. It sucks. It sucks for the Dark Order, because she was, honestly, for me, probably the best part of the Dark Order. I love the dynamic that she has with Silver and with Grayson, and so hopefully it's more on the shorter side of that, closer to 6 months than to 12. So, but yeah, hopefully speedy recovery to Anna Jay. I already talked about the AEW Dark Elevation show that's going to be premiering on March the 15th on YouTube, hosted by Paul White and Tony Schiavone. And Kelly Klein, former Women of Honor World Champion from Ring of Honor, is suing ROH. And if you look up on pretty much any of the dirt sheets, I think they all carried this story. You can see all of the stuff that she is listing, from an unsafe work environment to sexual harassment to all kinds of stuff. So just a huge lawsuit against Ring of Honor from Kelly Klein, and so definitely something to keep an eye on over the next several months, I would assume. So that's going to do it for news and rumors and results for the week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with this week's Indie Cut. There is a lot to get through, so let's begin with Friday, February 19th, where Collegiate Pro Wrestling was back in action, with El Lindemann defeating Yuka Tanaka. Go down to Active Advanced Pro Wrestling, Grand Slam, and TKP Garden City Chiba, where the 2AW tag title was on the line. Champions Kengo Mashimo and Tatsuya Hanami defeated Kotaro Yoshino and Tank Nagai. And for the 2A Openweight title, champion Ayoto Yoshida defeated Taylor Adams. Back here in the States, for Unified Wrestling Oklahoma and Bethany, Oklahoma, Drake Gallows defeated Shadow Gemini by DQ. Brawler Morrison defeated Mitch Onyx. And for the UWO title, Champion Blade defeated Malachi. To Resolute Wrestling, My Bloody Valentine from Crossville, Tennessee, where the pound for pound number one contendership was on the line, where Ridiculous Nicholas won that. In the Resolute pound for pound title match, champion Sean Simmons defeated Carlton by DQ. Andrew Thomas defeated Dream Girl Ellie. In the Resolute tag title match, AJ Kazana and Donovan Daniels defeated champions Gunnar D and Thomas Cage to become the champions. And for the Resolute Undisputed title, champion Brett Eisen defeated David Firestein. To River City Championship Wrestling, Broken Hearts and Broken Bones 5 from La Crosse, Wisconsin. They had a City of La Crosse number 1 contendership match where Jason Masters defeated Chris Black. For their tag titles, Devlin Kane and Ragnar the Ruthless, who are champions, defeated the Gunslingers. No names given. And for the heavyweight title, champion The Wanderer took on Joey Avalon in a no contest. To Pro Wrestling All-Stars of Detroit, Frozen Friday from Brownstone, Michigan. For their junior heavyweight title, champion TJ Meyer defeated Alex Van Zandt. For their Cruiser Core title, champion Mysterious Bravado defeated Tanner Nix. For their tag title, champions Chuck Stein and Peter B. Beautiful defeated Mikey Banker and Sin. And for their heavyweight title, champion Dread King Logan defeated Zach Thomas. Down to Pro South Wrestling from Piedmont, Alabama. And their number 1 contendership match for the heavyweight title, William Huckabee defeated Danny Only. Then Insane Championship Wrestling, Insanity TV number 2 on YouTube from West Allis, Wisconsin. These are recorded matches. So for the Midwest title, recorded on November 21st. For the Sierra defeated champion Zach McGuire to become the champion. And on October 24th, for the tag titles, Doc Simmons and Zach Hendricks with Jimmy Hart, of all people, defeated champions Ethan Matthews and Maverick Boone to become new champions. So check that out on YouTube. To Alternative Pro Wrestling from Royston, Georgia. For the North Georgia title, Scott Mason defeated champion Caleb Crocker by countout, so no change there. And Haas Michaels took on Strychnine to a no contest. New Japan Strong 28 from California. Adrian Quest, Mysterioso, and Rocky Romero defeated Barrett Brown, Ray Horse, and the DKC. Fred Rosser defeated Hikuleo, and El Phantasmo defeated Leo Rush. There was a CMLL match I want to talk about for the Mexican National Tag Title. Best 2 out of 3 falls, of course. Atlantis Jr. and Flyer, who are champions, defeated Cancerberio and Raziel. So little lucha action finally. On to Saturday, February 20th, for VKF Pro Wrestling Starrcade 2021 from Osaka, Japan. That's on YouTube, so check that out if you wish. Or the King of Wrestle Naiwa title match was on the line, where champion Hiroki Taniguchi defeated Issa 8. Don't know about that. Sorry about that. To Stardom New Stars 2021 Day 9. Really cool show once again. Tam Nakano defeated Lady C. Unagi in the Unagi Kabuki 7-match Trial 7. Trial Series 4th match. Himeka destroyed Unagi Sayaka in a 8-woman tag. Julia, Maika, Natsupoi, and Siri took on Azumi, Momo Watanabe, Saya Kamatani, and Utami Hayashita in a 15-minute draw. For the future or Stardom title, champion Saya Ida defeated Hanori Hana, who was from Marvelous, so it was nice to see someone else actually for the championship. And in another 8-woman tag, P. Priestley, Konami, Natsuka Tora, and Saki Kushima defeated Gokigen Death, Mayu Iwatani, Starlight Kid, and Ruaka, since Ruaka turned on Mayu Iwatani, helping B and the girls win. So Ruaka is now part of their Odatai stable. A little weird to see, but they gotta change it up every once in a while, I guess. There's Kaliga Pro Wrestling, Saturday Night Rising Stars on YouTube. Dylan James and Fuminara Abe defeated Kengo Takai and Michio Kazuyama. And Al Lindemann defeated Naoki Tanazaki. Down to Tasmanian Championship Wrestling Annihilation 8 from Tasmania, Australia. So you are now on the map. Further north, ESK title Fatal 4-Way match. Champion Dylan Daniels defeated JJ Storm, Liam Lacey, and Ziki Andino in a beard versus career match. Eddie Jones, who had the beard, defeated Cyrus Burns, who lost his career. And in the Tasmanian title Brisbane Street Fight, champion Adrian Alexander defeated Chris Lockwood. Up to Insane Championship Wrestling Fight Club 160 from Glasgow, Scotland. That is on the WWE Network or the Peacock Network, wherever you are getting it still. Then on to Progress Chapter 104, Natural Progression Series, which I talked about last week, from London, England, in a close set. So if there's one company that needs fans back, it is Progress. Love their action, but the fans give it just that much more happiness, you might say. You can check that out on demandprogress.com or the WWE Network, which, I mean, it's a little... They're starting up again, so it's a little diluted to me, but it's still Progress Wrestling nonetheless. So we go start with Progress Unified World Title Number 1 Contendership 4-Way match. Chris Ridgway defeated Gene Money, Omari, and Spike Trivat. For the first round matches of the Natural Progression Series, Luke Jacobs defeated Man Like the Reese. Ethan Allen defeated Kid Lycos 2 by referee's decision. Danny Black defeated Elijah. Warren Banks defeated Big Guns Joe. And Millie McKenzie defeated Mercedes Blaze. Nice to see Millie back in action. And then in a triumphant comeback from a career-ending injury, Kid Lycos defeated Chuck Mambo in what I thought was a really good match until the end. I won't spoil it, so check that out. And for the Progress Unified World Title, champion Cara Noir defeated Dan Maloney in a hard-hitting, really good match. So check those out if you can. To Wrestling for a Cause, Prime and Washoe, Oklahoma. For the heavyweight title, champion Alex Royal defeated KJ Everly. And for the Hometown Heroes title, champion Tim Rockwell defeated Jason Jones. To Warrior Breed Wrestling, Shattered Dreams from Hollywood, Florida. So more Warrior promotions popping up. For the vacant Warrior Division title Hardcore 3-Way match, Ruby Flyer defeated Drake Xavier and Neurosis to become champion. For the vacant tag titles match, Dante Marquise Carter and Mikey Spandex defeated David King and Sage Scott, new champions. In the lightweight title 3-way match, Aaron Nova took on champion Nick Grayson and Samuel C. That went to a no contest. Who knows what happened there. For United States title, Maximus Savage defeated champion Sage Scott to become the champion. And for the heavyweight title, oh boy, the Puerto Rican Hound Dog defeated champion Michael Kyrane to become new champion. Gotta love these names. To Total Chaos Wrestling from Taylor, Michigan. In another vacant title for the tag title in a ladder match, Ace Evans and Road Rash defeated Jake Price and Tommy Vendetta, along with Justin Pilgrim and Sean Taylor, and Malcolm Monroe III and Sin. So Ace Evans and Road Rash are your new tag team champions. In a AIWF World Deathmatch title. Taipei Barefoot Pits a Broken Glass match, which is vacant title. Peter B. Beautiful defeated Sean Lawhorn to become the champion. For the Crab Wrestling title and Flophouse title, the Crab title holder Mikey Banker defeated Flophouse champion Mo Atlas by countout, so no title change there. For the TKW title, Swartzy defeated champion Freedom Ramsey to become new champion. And then in a Fans Bring the Weapons match, Chuck Stein defeated Mickey Knuckles. There was a Tennessee All Pro Wrestling Better Late Than Never show. I couldn't recognize any of the names in that, so sorry about that. But the show was on. Onto Renegade Championship Wrestling Unsanctioned, where they had a No Limits title submission match. Champion Dion Mercer defeated Dorian Crow. And for the heavyweight title Unsanctioned Rules match, champion Talon Williams defeated Cyrus the Destroyer. To Premier Wrestling Experience, Dawn of a New Day from Rock Hill, South Carolina. For the Innovative Television title, champion Cam Carter defeated Savannah Evans. For the Pure Division title, champion Shug D defeated Alexander Moss. In a non-title tag match, Caleb Connolly and Zane Riley defeated Chance Reiser and Patrick Scott. Lucky Ali defeated J.D. Drake. Drew Adler defeated Dave Boy Smith Jr. I would have to call that a major pig upset there. And then T.J. Boss defeated Harlem Bravado. And what I'm guessing was his last independent match, since he is now part of the Performance Center for WWE. So, good luck to him. H2O Wrestling Hardcore Hustle Organization, Heir to the Throne, where they held an Heir to the Throne tournament matches, all very hard-hitting and very bloody. The final was Knocking on Heaven's Door 4-way match, where Declan Grant defeated Gigi Everson, Anthrax, and Marcus Mathers. So he is heir to the throne. To Global Syndicate Wrestling Inception. This was an interesting show. I wish I could have seen it. Where Michael Elgin defeated Wrecking Ball Legursky. Yes, Michael Elgin is back in action somewhere, someplace. For the Soul of Syndicate title, champion Masa Slamovich defeated Hyan. Richard Holiday defeated Tyson Maddox. Vicious Vicky defeated Gabby Ortiz. Ricky Reyes defeated Gio Galvano and Smiley. Deanna Perrazzo with Kimberly defeated Trish Adora. And for the vacant GSW World title match, Alexander Hammerstone defeated Austin Aries. Nice to say his name once again. I know many people don't like Austin Aries, but he's pretty cool to me. So he's back in action, kinda, I guess. To Coastal Championship Wrestling, Enter the Machine from Nashville, Tennessee. For Southeastern Heavyweight title, champion Bugs Morgan defeated Vic Arson. For the tag titles, champions Ariel Levi and Vinicius with Bill Alfonso, looking good Bill, defeated Mr. C and Salazar. For the heavyweight title, champion El Jefe Santos defeated Jake St. Patrick. Matthew Justice with Bill Alfonso once again defeated Chase Stevens. Chase Stevens from TNA Wrestling. Christy James defeated Marina Tucker. Nice to see Christy pick up more wrestling matches and wins. And then Brian Cage, who knew, defeated Casey Navarro. So Brian Cage even made it to another independent show in Tennessee. So maybe he'll pop up on Impact soon. You never know. And then on to the GCW Josh Barnett's Bloodsport number 5. Not so live from Los Angeles, California. Calder McCall defeated Bad Dude Tito. Calvin Tankman defeated Nolan Edward by TKO. Cal Jax defeated the Super Beast. I don't know. That was a weird match. I don't know why it ended. Super Beast is like, I'm done. Royce Isaacs of NWA defeated Alex Coughlin. Rocky Romero defeated Simon Grimm in a really good match between these two. Chris Dickinson defeated J.R. Krotos. Jeff Cobb defeated Tom Lawler. And John Moxley defeated Dave Boy Smith Jr. by knockout. That was a brutal match, as I said last week. Very bloody. And John Moxley's not done. It's been talked about that there is going to be Mania weekend, during WrestleMania weekend. So a bunch of independent programs and shows will start on Thursday, I believe, and run through Sunday. So, I will try and do my best to cover all of that. It should be interesting this year. Florida with all these companies going on at one time. Yeah, during the pandemic. I'm not gonna worry about it yet. But there's gonna be independent wrestling during Mania weekend, so beware, folks. On to Sunday, February 21st, Tokyo Yoshi Pro, where the No Princess Max Heart tournament continued. Second round matches were Hikari Noah and Sina Shiora defeated Mihiro Kiru and Yuki Kamafuku. And Mei St. Michelle and Saki Sami defeated Miru Miyami and Suzumi. Maki Ito and Mayu Yamashita defeated Miyu Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi. And Hyper Michio with Soka Nakajima defeated Nodoka Tenma and Yuki Aino. Those are the tag champs, so that was a little bit of an upset, you might say. And then in an 8-woman tag, Hamazuki, Yuka Sakazaki, Ryushu Endo, and Moka Miyamoto defeated Haruno Oneko, Muraki Kobashi, Pam Harajuku, and Raku. Real cool show once again by them. Stardom New Year Stars 2021, Day 10. Himeka and Micah defeated Lady C and Tam Nakano. Julia, Natsupoi, and Siri defeated B. Priestley. Did not defeat. Julia, Natsupoi, and Siri took on B. Priestley, Natsuka Toro, and Saki Kashima in a 10-minute draw. A little short, but you'll understand why in a minute. In a 4-on-3 handicap match, Azumi, Momo Watanabe, Saya Kamatani, and Utami Hashita defeated Mayu Iwatani, Saya Ida, and Starlight Kid. Oh, my bad. It wasn't they defeated it was another 10-minute draw. Yeah. New setting, a little bad read in my notes. So we go to Unagi Kabuki 7 match, 5th match of the series, and Konami defeated Unagi Sayaka. Pretty good match, and not as brutal as not as beating up as you might think. And then they had a Stardom Rumble match, so that's why some of these matches were kind of short. Where Ruaka, of all people, won it after eliminating Saya Ida last. So turning heel has paid off for Ruaka. Pure J had a show. Oz Academy Noir. Yeah. From Osaka, Japan. Let's go with that. Koho Kobayashi and Kakura Sakaguchi defeated Momoka Hanazona and Rika Shingaki. And then in a 6-woman tag, Aja Kong, Hirio Matsumoto, and Kari Yoniyama, that's why she was not in Stardom that night, defeated Miyami Ozaki, Sari Onu, and Yumi Oka. Alright, over to Noah Step Forward 2021 Day 1 in a 6-person tag. Oh, excuse me. Katsuhiko Nakajima, Manabu Soya, and Neo defeated Daisuke Harada, Go Shiozaki, and Yoshiki Unomura. To Ice Ribbon Tax Pro Wrestling Volume 5 on YouTube, so check that out if you wish. For the Tax Pro Wrestling tag titles, which were vacant, Tsukasa Fujimoto and Kashi defeated Risa Sera and Suzy Suzuki to become the champions. over to DDT Ganbare Pro Cliffhanger 2021. Shota defeated Soji Yushi G Valion. And for the GWC 6-man tag titles, Asuka, Hagana Sunu, and Senshiro Tamanaga defeated champions Hirazaki, Kaisuke Ishii, and Koki Iwasaki to become new champions. So the other Asuka, who appeared in an AEW tournament, is now a 6-person tag title holder. There was an Actress Girls Act in Osaka show where Hikari Sumuzu and Marie defeated Miku Ono and Tei Hanma. And a tag match, Kakura Sakaguchi and Miyuko Takashi defeated Saki and Yuki Sakura. On to All Japan Pro Wrestling Excite Series 2021, Day 3. Tajiri defeated Rising Hayota. Izanagi and Zeus defeated Raiki Honda and Yoshitatsu. In All Japan TV 6-man tag, champions Black Mansuri, Karbel Ito, and Tako Omuri defeated Dan Tamura, Karu Saito, and Kanaka. Suwama defeated Utamura. And a 6-person tag, Atsuki Ayagi, Kento Miyahara, and Yumi Ayagi defeated Hokutar Omori, Kuma Arashi, and Sarataro Oshino. Sorry about those names. Back here in the States, for Violence and Suffering, Stay High. As I'm watching the new show right now from Westville, New Jersey. Treehouse Lee defeated Kent Broadway. Jordan Oliver defeated Gabriel Sky. Jace Carr defeated Nikolai White. Jay Lyon and Midas Black defeated Charlie Tiger and Alice Taylor. Daniel Garcia defeated MV Young. And Jimmy Lloyd defeated Tony Deppen. Level Up Wrestling School Up Showcase number 1 from La Mesa, California. DTF defeated Leo Kennedy. Robin Shaw defeated Sexy Fab. Jordan Cruz defeated Cameron August. And Michael Hopkins defeated J2 Matoli. Figured to give those young guys a little clear, just to say their names out loud and let them be known. On to IWA Mid-South, Heartbreak After Heartbreak from Jeffersonville, Indiana. Michael Elgin was back in action, defeating Vincent Nothing. And for the Mid-South Heavyweight title, champion Jay Chris defeated Hunter Drake. Up to First Wrestling from St. Paul, Minnesota. Show 1, where the First Wrestling Uptown VFW title was on the line, where champion Eric Cannon with Demon Monroe pinned Gary J and JC. So then they went at it together. So Eric Cannon defeated Devin Monroe. Billy Starks defeated Sky Blue. For the IWTV Independent Wrestling title, champion Warhorse defeated JDX. And in the main event, it was Top Flight of Darius Martin and Dante Martin defeating the Besties in the World, Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett. That had to be an awesome match. Maybe one day we'll see that at Warrior Wrestling, huh? Then show 2 was JDX defeat Riley Jackson. Billy Starks and Sky Blue went to a double countout. Don't Die Miles defeated Gary J. In a 6-man tag, the Besties in the World, Davey Vega and Matthew Fitchett, with Warhorse, defeated Eric Cannon, Top Flight of Darius Martin and Dante Martin. So that had to be 2 really good shows there. On to Monday, February 22nd. New Japan Road to the Castle Attack Day 7 took place. DDT Damnation Produce Illegal Assembly Returns Volume 3. in Tokyo, Japan. So Mad Polly defeated Hoshi Tanga. Tatsuya Endo defeated Hagani Sinoi. And Daisuke Sasaki with Hiroshi Yamamoto defeated Hub and Yosutaka Oshira. Kaligo Pro Royals Unite took place on YouTube. And Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment Loud number 8 from Atlanta, Georgia took place with Austin Towers defeating Trevor Aon. Tuesday, February 23rd. Sunday Girls were back in action. For the Sunday Girls Junior title, champion Mei Hasazuki defeated Unaki Oka. Yeah, I'm good with that. Oh, and Dash Shisako teamed with Mika Iwata to defeat Mio Momono and Rin Katakura. Stardom New Year's Stars Day 11. Gokigen Death was back in action to defeat Uraka and Tam Nakano. Julia defeated Lady C. Azumi and Momo Watanabe defeated Natsupoi and Siri. That was a really good match. Himeka and Maika took on Saya Kamatani and Hitami Hayashita in a 15-minute time draw. The Unagi's Trial Series 6 match of B. Priestley defeating Unagi Sayaka. That was back and forth really. Unagi almost won, but not so fast. And in a 6-woman tag, Konami, Natsuka Tora, and Saki Kashima defeated Mayu Iwatani, Saya Ida, and Starlight Kid. So Odatai is holding court, you might say. Onto Ice Ribbon, new Ice Ribbon 1101 from Yokohama, Japan. For the IW19 title, champion Takushi Hiraka defeated Tekla. Suri Onoi, Suzy Suzuki defeated Rini Yamashita and Yuki Mashiro. DDT Effort, Friendship, and Victory and Nagoya. Chris Brooks and Maki Ito defeated Antonio Honda and Saki Akai. That was a really funny match. For the KOD 6-man titles, champions Akito, Kazuki Hirata, and Shota defeated Denshiko Dino, Hiroshima, and Sensiro Takagi. Daisuke Sasaki and Tetsuya Endo defeated Shuma Katsumata and Yuki Ueno. In an 8-man tag, the Strong Hearts of Shima, Al Lindemann, Singahiro Iri, and T-Hawk defeated Hideki Akotani, Juna Akiyama, Makoto Oshii, and Yusake Okada. And in the KO tag title match, champions Kusada Higuchi and Yukio Sakaguchi defeated Kansuki Takeshita and Mao. And that was actually a really good show. To Dragon Gate, the Truth Gate, Day 8. Benkei and Ultimate Dragon defeated Gama and Susumu Yokoshika. In an Open Triangle Gate World Contendership match, the final tournament match, Dia Inferno, Diamante, and Hip Hop Kakuta defeated Bakatumo Dragon, Punch Tamanaga, and Ryoshi Saito. Actress Girls beginning show was on. All Japan Excite Series Day 4. Where Balian Aki, Osamu Natsumura, and Yoshitatsu defeated Black Mansuri, Raiju Hichikata, and Taikyo Omura. For the All Japan World Tag Titles, champions Kento Miyahara and Yuma Ayagi defeated Abdullah Kobayashi and Daisuke Sakamoto. And in the Triple Crown title, champion Suwama defeated Cole Sato. Kaligo Pro Stars Night was on YouTube. Back here in the States, Northeast Wrestling Studio Wars from Connecticut, number 7. for the new live title best to 3 falls match. Brad Hollister defeated champion Christian Casanova 2 falls to 1. And what I'm guessing was Christian Casanova's final independent match, since he is on his way to the WWE Performance Center. All the best to him. To New South Pro Wrestling. South Action Class number 24 from Haynesville, Alabama. Cabana Man Dan defeated Kevin Koo. That's kind of an upset to me. And in a Haas tournament qualifier matches, Dylan McQueen defeated Donnie Janela, and Jaden Newman defeated Jordan Oliver. That is an upset, I do believe. Wednesday, February 24th. DDT doesn't know Gamma yet. Chris Brooks and Yusaki Okada defeated Toi Kojima and Yuki Ueno. Yeah, I'm good with the rest of those. Then we go to YMZ Gokugen Thank You. Farewell to 30. Last 2 days before turning 40. It's on YouTube, so check this show out if you wish. In a 3-way match, Asuka defeated Daiki Shimomura and Kushinobu Kamen. In a tag match, Usami Kodaka and Kari Oyama defeated Hikari Sato and Makoto. So she won before her birthday. Cool. Noah step forward, day 3. In a 6-man tag, Keiji Muto, Masato Tanaka, and Namichi Marufuji defeated Daiki Inaba, Go Shiozaki, and Kaito Kiyomiya. That had to be an awesome match. Kaligo Pro Wrestling, Rising Night on YouTube. No big names again. Limitless The Road, Season 3, Episode 1. Tyree Taylor defeated Mac Daniels in a Body Slam Challenge match. Mike Gamble defeated Bobby Orlando. Champ Matthews and Connor Murphy defeated BRG and Channing Thomas. And Divine defeated TJ Crawford. Paradigm Pro Wrestling, No Hook number 3. From Jeffersonville, Indiana. In a MidwestTerritory.com title Battle Royal, which is vacant title now. Ken Broadway won that. In a versus Battleborn title, champion Jody the Wrestler defeated Yoya. So Yoya is getting more action after that GCW 24-hour show. Alex Kane defeated Niles Garvin. For the PHW Party Monster title, Sandra Moon defeated champion Billy Starks to become new champion. To Knox Pro Academy, I Am Wrestling 28 from Los Angeles, California on YouTube. So check out Journey Fatu defeating Mikey O'Shea. And there was one other match on there as well. Thursday, February 25th, New Japan Wrestling Road to Castle Attack Day 8. Where the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles are on the line. And El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated champions El Phantasmo and Taji Ishimori. This pretty much sets up El Phantasmo and Taji Ishimori up to win the Junior Heavyweight title, which had to be relinquished by Hiromu Takahashi, since he will be out 6 months with a tricep injury, I believe. So all the best to Hiromu, who can't catch a break. Basra 150 for the Union Pro Max title. Takuma Tsukamoto, who is champion, defeated Yoshi Urano. Kaligo Pro Stars Night on YouTube. The Strong Hearts are back in action with Shima and El Lindemann defeating Kaichi Sato and Nokia Tanazaki. To Enjoy Wrestling Canned Heat number 1 from Tarentum, Pennsylvania. It's on YouTube. And commentators were Effie and our good friend Rick Bocchini. They have the Enjoy Cup title tournament first round matches of Mr. Grimm defeating Sean Phoenix and MV Young defeating Willow Nightingale. Beyond Wrestling is a signature series number 1 from Williamstown, New Jersey. So Beyond is back in action with a weekly series. So check that out if you can. Trish Adora defeating Jordan Oliver. That was a good match. In a tournament for tomorrow, 2021 first round match, PB Smooth and Trey Lamar defeating Dave McCall and Nate Carter. Excuse me. That was a fun match to watch. And then in a round robin challenge match, pretty much the best of Beyond. So it was Chris Dickinson with now 2 points defeating Tony Deppen with 0. Friday, February 26th, Sealing New Leaf 2021. I'm almost done. Here we go. Arisha Nakajima, Nani Takahashi, Enrico Kawada defeated Asuka, Makoto, and Tsukashi Huraka. To Noah Stafford, Day 2. Sushi Koteji, Daisuke Harada, and Go Shiozaki defeated Hajime Ohara, Saike Yosahaka, and Namichi Marufuji. 2 marvelous stats for women's pro wrestling were Karu Ito defeated Rin Katakura. So Rin, even with the AEW bump, still can't catch a win there. And then a Hikari Sato produced Jeep freelance show where in a tag match of Koji Doi and Fuminaro Abe under a different name defeated Sushi and Hikaru Sato. And then in a career versus career match, Yoshi Tatsu, under some other name, defeated Captain of the Rambo Karamaru. So Rambo Karamaru, I guess, lost his Jeep career. I'm not even sure about that. I did not look it up since it was brand new to me. Then we move to Dragon Gate, the Truth Gate, Day 9. There was a Royal Sambo Battle Royal where Kono Mama Ichikawa won that. Yeah, I'm good with the rest of that. Big Japan Pro Wrestling for the Big Japan Tag Titles, Fuminaro Abe and Takira Nomura defeated champions Kazumi Kikuta and Riichu Kawakami to become champions. Kaliga Pro Wrestling Rising Night on YouTube, where Ghana and the Bodyguard defeated Daminoji So and Raiji Sai. Back here in the States for Empire Pro Wrestling from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. For their tag titles, Drake Gallows and Reven, who are champions, defeated El Gringo Loco and Elijah Sparks. Erica defeated Stormy Renee, and in a nuclear warfare match, Kevin James Sanchez won that. Then on to New Japan Strong, number 29. This is the show everyone was waiting for. They started off with ACH, Brody King, and the Regal Twins, defeating Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, the DKC, and TJP. Then Ren Narita submitted Chris Dickinson in a cloverleaf sharpshooter. Very cool move, and a very good match between these two. Nice to see Ren Narita pick up a big victory there. And then what everyone was hoping for, but didn't get, and stuff for me. I like the outcome here for the IWGP United States Heavyweight title. Champion Jon Moxley defeated Kenta. Now, I believe Kenta got the briefcase because he lived in Florida. Alright, people? There was no way Kenta was going to beat Jon Moxley for the United States Heavyweight title. Give me a break. Take a breather. Enjoy Jon Moxley being your champion. He's not losing until someone else can come from Japan. Since he can go wrestle in California now, he'll get a better match out of it. So, let's cool down, people. On to Saturday, February 27th, and New Japan Castle Attack Day 1. This was an alright show. To start things off, only title on the line was the King of Pro Wrestling in a UTR style Texas strap match where champion Toriano defeated Chase Owens. Then also Jay White defeated Tomohiro Ishii. That was a really good match. And Okada defeated Evil once again. Ice Shim and New Ice Shim 1102 took place. Gatomu Choco Pro 91 on YouTube took place. Where the Asian Dream Tag Titles were on the line for Balayan Aki and Mei Suruga, who were champions, defeating Chai Kasakawa and Hagano Sonoi. Freedom's Hot Free People 21. That show took place. Dragon Gate, Truth Gate Day 10, where Ben K and Dragon Kid defeated Kaji Tora and Ultimo Dragon. In a Bar 045 5th anniversary show, Bay Arena Volume 4. Drew Parker teamed with Jun Kasai to take on Masasai Takeda and Takayuki Uki. Sorry about those names. They went to a no contest. I'm good with that. And Coleco Pro Saturday Night Rising Stars on YouTube. Shima and Singahiro Iri defeated Kaichi Sato and Yoshitaka Osura. And Then earlier today on WWE Network, Progress Chapter 105, Bring the Thunder. They held the National Progression Series semifinal matches where Warren Banks defeated Danny Black by referee's decision, and Luke Jacobs defeated Ethan Allen by referee's decision. Then Kid Lycos teamed with Kid Lycos 2 to defeat Big Gun Show and Gene Money. Elijah defeated Chuck Mambo. National Progression Series final match was Luke Jacobs defeating Warren Banks. For the Progress World title, champion Cara Noir defeated Chris Ridgeway by referee's decision. So a lot of knockouts, I guess, in this show. And then for the Progress Woman title, number one contendership match, Kanji defeated Alexis Falcon, Giselle Shaw, Lana Austin, Mercedes Blaze, Millie Kenzie, and Tunga. I did not get your name, because I get to watch the show. That's a wrap for me. Until next time with more shows from around the wrestling world. Don't forget to look up those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. There's a Big Stardom show on March the 3rd, so hopefully you can check that out wherever you are. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Sorry so long again. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's keep it rolling into the next segment of the show here, where I get to play kind of armchair promoter, and that is called the Fantasy Booker. Alright, so we are continuing with my little fantasy wrestling promotion here, CHS Wrestling. I'm going to talk this week about how I am going to crown my first champions. I ran down my roster last week, and so this week we're going to talk about how we're going to crown the first champions, and then next week I'll get into the actual matches and who the first champions are going to be. So let's start off with the Men's World Champion. Doing a little bit of a twist on what's called a War of Attrition match, and this is the kind of the marquee match for Warrior Wrestling here in Chicago, which you've heard me talk about numerous times on the show here. The concept of the War of Attrition match from Warrior, the way that they do it, it's an 8-man match. Starts off as a typical 8-man tag team, 4-on-4. One team loses, they're eliminated. The 4 remaining guys split into 2 tag teams. You have a tag team match, one team loses, they're eliminated. The remaining 2 men face off 1-on-1, and the last man standing obviously is the winner, whoever gets the pinfall or submission. Now, since I'm working with 10 men, it's going to work a little bit differently. It's going to be a 5-on-5 random draw tag team match. And then, same concept. One team loses, they're eliminated. But you're left with 5 guys, so you can't have just a standard tag team match with that. Here's the twist. The man who gets the pin or submission, whichever individual wins the fall, gets to pick teams for a 3-on-2 handicapped match. So whoever scores the pinfall can choose one partner for himself to go against the other 3 guys, or can pick 2 partners for himself to go against the other 2 guys. And the way this is going to work from here is, obviously, the losing team is eliminated. Now, if the winning team of this fall is the 2-man team, then obviously you have a one-on-one match, and the winner is your champion. However, if the winning team is the 3-man team, the final stage of this match is a triangle elimination match. So you have to get 2 pins, obviously, to win. So, and again, last man standing is your champion. So that is how we are going to crown the first ever CHS Wrestling Men's World Champion. Now, on the women's side, I don't want to do the same type of match for every title, because to me that would just get boring. So on the women's side, we are going to do what I'm calling a 10-woman elimination scramble tag match. It sounds much more complicated than it is, but basically starts 2 women in the ring, and the other 8 women are on the ring apron, 2 in each corner. And anyone can tag anyone. There are no teams. You can tag in and out at will to whomever. And eliminations are by pinfall, submission, DQ, or countout. When a woman's eliminated, she goes to the back. And we keep going like this until we are down to 1 woman. Last woman standing is your women's world champion. So simple elimination tag team rules. But yeah, so like I said, I'm calling it a 10-woman elimination scramble tag match. And for the tag team championship, the no limit tag team championship, because it can be contested by either men, women, mixed tag, whatever. We are having a 10-team elimination tornado gauntlet match. Again, sounds more complicated than it really is. Everybody knows what a tornado tag match is. You know, all 4 people in the ring don't have to tag in and out. You know, so the rules for this basically are the falls have to occur in the ring. 2 teams start. When 1 member is pinned or submits, that team is eliminated. The next team enters. And the last tag team standing are your champions. So that's how I will be crowning the first champions for CHS Wrestling for the men's, women's, and tag team championships. And we'll get into a little bit more detail on some of those matches next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to go through all 3 matches next week or go through them one at a time over the next 3 weeks to crown the champions. We'll find out together. So that's going to do it for the fantasy booker for this week. So let's get into the last segment of the show here. Still counting down my top 10 WrestleMania matches, and I am doing that in the weekly hot take. Alright, so we are up to number 7 on my countdown of my top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time. And number 7 for me, WrestleMania 6 from 1990, Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. This at the time for me, as a 12, 13-year-old kid, this was the ultimate match, no pun intended. It was the first time in WrestleMania you had a babyface versus babyface main event. And it was the 2 top stars of the time, you know, and it was supposed to be, you know, the passing of the torch between, you know, from Hogan to the Warrior. Obviously, it didn't quite work out because you had Hogan back as champion the very next year. But, yeah, Ultimate Warrior at that time was my absolute favorite. And I was so depressed because at the time I didn't have cable, so I couldn't watch it live. And they actually reported on this on the news here in Chicago. Like, I was watching, or my mom was watching the news that night, and the Ultimate Warrior defeated Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6. I was like, oh, man, I was going nuts. And then when I finally got to see it, I mean, you think Hogan and Warrior, and you don't automatically think this is going to be a great match. But it actually was. It was a very good match, and that, honestly, is due to Pat Patterson. He deserves 100% of the credit for this being as good of a match as it was. But, yeah, like I said, I think it was a very important match in the history of WrestleMania. It was the first time you had a babyface versus babyface main event, and it was the top 2 guys of the era in WWE. So that is my number 7 on my countdown of my top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time. Hulk Hogan versus The Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 6, 1990. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. Next week, I'm going to have my preview and predictions for the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to check out the website, catchhookshoot.com. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot tomorrow for brand new bonus content that's going to be dropping. Check out all the other benefits for all the different subscription tiers. And if you like what you see, hey, get a subscription. I'm going to do my best to, make it worth every penny that you spend on it, whether it's $1, $5, $10, $20. I'm going to do my best to make sure you get the best value for that money. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for all the T-shirts that are offered there. Again, catchhookshoot.com. We've got another web store there with a ton of new merchandise there. Go and check it out. Tons of T-shirts, new hats, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to probably be adding more stuff there too within the next several weeks, months, whatever. I'm constantly coming up with new ideas for designs and things like that. So head over there, check it out. Again, that's catchhookshoot.com. And you can find links to all of that and more on our Linktree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot. Find links to the website, all the podcasting platforms, YouTube, everything. That's linktree/catchhookshoot. And if you ever want to shoot me an email with questions, comments, ideas, or anything that's on your mind, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy all the wrestling that's coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.